Okay, the reset script of 1.4 for Volume 2 has just been run. And if you expand JProCo and tables, you will notice we have several tables. We have a sales invoice table, which keeps track of invoices, but we don't have a sales invoice detail table that shows all the individual products ordered on all those invoices. So we're going to create the sales invoice detail table to point to the sales invoice table. Okay, the first thing we're going to type is create table and then the name of the table. This will be called sales invoice detail. Now, in this set of parentheses is the list of fields we want. We're going to want an invoice detail ID, which normally would be an identity field, but in this case, we're going to do our own explicit inserts. So we're just going to make it as an integer primary key. And the next field we're going to want is which invoice this is on. So that will be an invoice ID. We'll also want to know the product they ordered, the quantity, and any discount. So let's put those 5 fields in. So the first one is very field specific to this table, invoice detail ID, which is an int, and we'll make it the primary key. Okay, done with the first field. We should drop down a line and put in the second field. But before you do that, put a comma. That means it's the end of the first field, the beginning of your second field, and now we're going to go invoice ID and say that is not null. Next line, product ID, which is an integer, and that is also not null. In other words, for every record, there must be a value in that field. Now, if they order something, we're going to want to know how much they ordered. Let's say quantity, integer, not null. Put a comma. Now, the next one is a unit discount. You don't always get a discount on every order, so discount is optional or nullable. Now, if I say null, that works, but what if I leave it off like this? Say unit discount, small money. Then it is a nullable field. Now, it's better to explicitly put the null in, but I wanted to show you that that works. Okay, that's the end of our statement, and like all good DDL statements, it makes sense to put a go at the end. Okay, let's run this. And it says commands completed successfully. I don't see it here until I refresh my screen, and there's a sales invoice detail table, and it has all the columns and specifications that match this code. Excellent. Now, what's in this table? Well, there's nothing in this table. So let's put a few records in it. Let's say insert into sales invoice detail the following values. We'll say invoice detail 1, comma 1, and then product 76. And how many did they get? Let's say they had a quantity of 2, but they didn't get a discount. All right, let's run this insert statement. It says 1 row affected. And let's go over to our table and now look to see if that record is in there. Let's say edit top 200 rows. And you will notice 1, 1, 76, 2, and no discount. Okay, that worked pretty good. Let's put in another record. Insert into sales invoice detail the following values. 2, comma 1, because it's on the same invoice of 1. And that's product 77. They ordered 3 of them, and again, we didn't give them a discount. Let's run that. 1 row is affected. Let's look. Hey, there's that second record. Excellent. Let's add one more record with an insert statement. Insert into sales invoice detail the following values. This is our third record, which is still a part of invoice 1. So on invoice 1, there's 3 different items. That was product 78. They got 6 of them. No discount. Okay, now I don't want to run all 3 of these statements. In fact, I can't, because the primary key says you can't have this particular field repeating values again. So I'm just going to run this last line. Check it out. Now let's see if all 3 records are in the table. And they are. Oh, happy days are here again. Okay, we can look in the more common way of just writing a select statement. So let's go select all fields from sales invoice detail. Okay, let's run that. And there we see our 3 records. Lab 1.4, Skill Check 1. Create the DBO state list table in the JProCo database with the design you see in the figure to the right. Note, this table has no primary key. Next, you will use BCP to import ch1 statelistFeed.txt into the state list table you just created. Then check your result by running a select from the table. Your results should resemble the figure you see below. Skill Check 2. Drop, recreate, and then populate the sales invoice detail table in the JProCo database. Use the design you see in this figure to the right. Populate the table with the ch1 sales invoice detail feed.txt using BCP. During your import into the database, your results will look like the figure you see below. Do a quick check of your table to see all of the records, and your results should resemble the figure you see at the bottom.